never won that.
No, God has never won a contest on Super Bowl Sunday. Right? Because, we know how we are about seeing bodies clashing. Mm-hmm. That's what the Course of Miracles says, the bodies, we love to have clashing bodies.
Like literally.
I thought I was just a good lover. Hey, baby, you want to clash bodies today?
All Sagittarius think they're good lovers.
That's right.
I know these
Sagittarius. That's right. Hello, mighty companions. I guess you wonder what was the heck that y'all just tuned in on based on my body clashing. But I'm Earl Raj Purdy. I want to welcome you to A Course in Miracles, which means people showing up today on Super Bowl Sunday was a miracle. So we've had our first miracle of the day. The next miracle would be us actually hearing what we're being told. And then the next miracle would be actually doing it. That's the miracle.
Living it.
Because whenever someone tells me that they're studying the Course of Miracles and they're not experiencing any change, then I know that what they're doing is analyzing it, but they haven't actually started applying it. Because we were told that there were 4 stages basically to accepting the truth. And the 4 stages to accepting the truth is first you just hear it. Yeah, he said the first stage to changing your mind or changing your beliefs. Like people say, how can I change my beliefs? And Earl Purdy, Facebook Live, welcome to my mighty companions online. The Course of Miracles has an answer to everything that you're wondering about, everything in your life. The Course of Miracles has an answer for everything and how to resolve everything that's going on in your life right now. There's not anything that's going on in your life right now that the Course of Miracles says that, it doesn't have the answer to how to do that.
That's a big claim.
And if I really believed that, studying it wouldn't be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
If someone told you, you have 1 week to live. If you don't finish the Course in Miracles in a week, you're gone. I bet you everybody in this room would be a Course in Miracles reading something gone. They wouldn't even care what it was saying, how it was saying it. Mm-hmm. They would do it. Right. And so that's the attitude that I have about this. Mm-hmm. I have the attitude about this that it is what's allowing my life to flow. That it's what's allowing my bills to be paid, it's allowing the health of the body, it's allowing the loving relationships I have. I credit everything that is happening good in my life to the truth. Mm-hmm. And in my path, it's A Course in Miracles. It's not the only path, but it's the path that motivated me to do it. And I always believe that your spiritual path, no one has to force you to do it.
That's right.
Which isn't the same as, so I know that people could listen to my classes or come to my classes and receive benefit from it. But that's different from saying the Course in Miracles is my spiritual path. If it's your spiritual path, then you're going to be, nothing can stop you from doing it. If it's your spiritual path, nothing can stop you from doing it. Even the I don't understand what it's saying couldn't stop you from doing it. The Super Bowl couldn't stop you from doing it. Especially since it's 4 or 5 hours from now.
Right.
So you're talking about preparation.
Yeah.
So if I really believed that I had an illness of some type and that the truth would heal it, then I would go to the truth, right? And so the section that we are still in that I've been wanting to go through because it's so incredible is looking within. And looking within, we're on page 32. It's chapter 12. Page 232, chapter 12, paragraph 11. Chapter 12, the Holy Spirit's curriculum. It's in the Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles. It's in chapter 12, the Holy Spirit's curriculum.
Bless you.
Page 232, and paragraph 11. Paragraph 11. I don't care how far we get. I'm much more interested in hearing what it's saying and doing it than I am in rushing through it just for the sake of saying we covered a lot today. Because all it takes is one truth that you use all the time, and he says it would take you to all truth. So what would that mean? That would mean, like it says, when you have accepted your mission, stop. The Course in Miracles said, read me slowly. read me slowly. Read me slowly. Course in Miracles says, do me slowly. Do me slowly. So when you have accepted your mission to extend peace, stop. What is your mission?
To extend peace.
Is cussing somebody out in traffic extending peace?
No. Sometimes it's fun though. Just let it all out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That I would expect a Gemini to say.
That's how you let go and let God.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And sometimes that's how you find out there's life after death. Very quickly. That's what amazes me. Like I had a road rage guy one time that, he got out of his car. He came over to my car. He was like coming at me, right? And he didn't know I could have been as crazy as he is. Because he was crazy. And today, in this dream, to do something like that, you're totally insane.
Yeah.
He didn't know what kind of person I was. He didn't know if I had a weapon. I would have even been in my rights. Because it looked like he was about to attack me.
Yeah.
Okay? What he was upset with me about really didn't have anything to do with me. So that was interesting too. That didn't have anything, it was his misperception to begin with, right?
Right.
And so he was coming and then I looked up and I said, bless you. And he stopped. Because I would imagine that was the last thing in the world that he expected me to sincerely say.
Right.
He said, bless you. And he stopped. He looked at me. He turned around. He looked at me. He turned around and he went and got back in his car and he drove off.
Boom.
You know, the Course says peace is stronger than war.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to think of peace as wimpy. Like if you were kind of like a peaceful, nice person, then everybody's going to run all over you. Have you ever had that thought before that if you're really nice, then everybody's going to take, so you got to be really tough.
Yeah.
And what I've seen with the Course in Miracles over and over again is that peace triumphs over attack. You know, if I'm upset with somebody, if somebody's upset with me, my ego, the part that wants to attack, says, I'm going to make you feel so guilty, and I'm going to attack you until you do what I want you to do. It's called anger. You know what I mean with anger?
Yes.
Anger is, you're not acting out my script. You're not acting out my script.
Yeah.
Life isn't acting out my script.
Right.
The government isn't acting. Whenever somebody's
Right.
mad, that's what they're saying. They're saying, something isn't acting out my script.
Thank you.
I got on the bus, they got on the bus, and they had a really making loud music or whatever. And then I think that's what got me upset. No, I'm upset because I have a script that I should be on the bus and nobody gets on the bus being loud. It's my script that's making me angry. My mission is to extend peace. And the Course in Miracles says, then in one sentence, it says, okay, what is your mission? To extend peace. You will find peace. Now, people say they want peace, right? And then he goes, you will find peace because by making it manifest, you will see it. So if I make peace manifest out of me, I will see peace. That's all it's saying. If I don't see any peace, I'm not manifesting it. If I don't feel peace, I'm not manifesting it. What does the false perception say? I'm not feeling peace, you manifest it. And you manifest my peace by being different. If you were different, I would be peaceful. If you spoke differently, if you acted differently, then I would be peaceful.
Right.
That's not you manifesting peace. That's you expecting somebody else to manifest your peace. The Course in Miracles says you will see it by manifesting it. And it's your mission to manifest it. You are on earth to extend total fulfillment. The Course in Miracles defines peace as total fulfillment. Think about that. So I'm here to extend total fulfillment. I'm upset about one thing or another all the time. So I'm not manifesting peace. So I'm not fulfilling my mission, and I wonder why my life isn't working. I wonder why I'm not joyful. I wonder why I'm not abundant. I'm wondering why my relationships big. I wonder why I feel alone. It's like people feel all these things, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to check in, I guarantee you, I would put money on it, they're not really taking any true responsibility for their experience. That'll be the one thing every really unhappy person has in common with in that moment. Even you think you studied the course and you're a course student, but right now you're upset about something. That's the moment that you've forgotten that you're the creator of the experience.
That's right.
And that's the moment you're looking for somebody else to be different or something else to be different for you to be happy. I don't wish this was more complicated. Actually, I'm glad it's this simple.
Mm-hmm.
Because a smart God wouldn't make things hard.
That's right.
Oh, I like that. A smart God wouldn't make things hard.
Nice.
Right. If I was really a brilliant being and I wanted somebody to get it and I wanted somebody to do it, I'd choose the person that wanted to do it and then was capable of doing it, and I'd make it easy for them to do it. A stupid God would say, I want y'all to have to learn how to do the hardest thing you've ever done in your life that you don't really understand. So when I watch people want to make life complicated, the course complicated, the truth complicated, that's a person who wants to maintain the pattern that's keeping them unhappy. So that's why one of the reasons why I believe the Course says we don't have private thoughts, because once you learn how to look at things the way this book teaches, you will know what people are actually thinking.
Mm-hmm.
If you're mad at me, I know you're thinking I'm responsible for your happiness and you're not taking any responsibility. So I know what you're thinking. That's what you're thinking.
Yeah, shame
That's
on
why
you.
you're mad.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking. I need to make you happy. So,
Right.
so there are no private thoughts for someone who recognizes the truth, because all you got to do is listen and observe, and everybody shows you who they are.
Yep.
You know, what do you value? The thing you focus your attention on. And so he's saying it right here. He says, when you've accepted your mission, which is to extend peace, you will find peace. For by making it manifest, you will see it. It's holy, which means innocent, loving, real. These are all definitions of holy. It's real witnesses, and this is the cool part. Now check this out. It says, they will surround you. So let me get this straight. So here's an answer to another question. How do I make sure I'm surrounded by people who love me and people who are peaceful? Well, I manifest it in myself. Then I see it, and then the witnesses to it come to me. They surround me. So let's work it backwards. If you don't see yourself surrounded by peaceful people, would it be true then that you're not manifesting any inner peace from within yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Or you would be seeing it, which means that you are not fulfilling your function. And if you're fulfilling your function, which is to be happy, to extend peace, to get rid of the blocks to your happiness, the Course says everything else you need will be given to you. Not the stuff you were working so hard for to take care of yourself will be given to you if you're truly fulfilling your function for being here. So if I see a person and they see themselves as if life is a struggle, would that be a person who is not fulfilling their mission?
Right, exactly.
And what is their mission? To extend
Expand
peace. When will they see it? When they manifest it. When they manifest it, how will they know they manifested peace?
You will see
They will be surrounded
Witnesses.
by the witnesses.
witnesses.
Yay.
The Course in Miracles is not complicated. It's a trick. We don't let the Christian terminology block you from getting this content that will make your life 1,000 times easier than you could imagine it being. It's like I said, it's like being on the desert and you're dying of thirst, and someone comes up to you and they say, here is the water that you need, and you say, I'm not going to drink the water unless it's in a blue cup.
Right.
That's the way I look at people who have this trip about their language that the Course in Miracles is written in. It's the same analogy. It's crazy. here's something that could solve everything that's causing you conflict, and you're going to be tripping about the fact that it said Christ. Or it said religious terminology. That is not smart. I do not believe you would not drink the water if you were on the desert dying of thirst if it wasn't in a cup. I think the content would be more important to you than the form. So if you got time enough to debate about the form is coming in, instead of drinking the water of truth, you need to stop jiving yourself. You don't have no problem. It was really helpful to me to talk to somebody who the issue that they had was a golf game. That was so refreshing because it was such a great example of what the Course teaches about. There are no small upsets.
Right.
That they're all equal. It doesn't make any difference what you're upset about. You're upset. And so it doesn't matter if you're upset about a golf game or you're upset about somebody telling you got 6 months to live. The Course says you're still upset. There are no small upsets. There are no little upsets. You're either happy or you're not. You either feel cool being here right now or you don't. He said there's no little bit feel cool. He said either you do or you don't. So the Course is saying, Earl, if you really want to be happy, I'm going to tell you the secret. If you want to be surrounded by really cool people, then what you have to do is start to manifest the peace within yourself. And then it said last week, you look inside yourself and you don't, and he says, if you don't see peace outside of you, it's because you looked inside of you and you thought there was something inside of you other than love. And I know that's true because I look inside my mind and have done it, and I bet you have too if you would be honest, and you criticized yourself.
Right.
So that meant you were seeing something inside yourself beside love. And he says, so don't be surprised when you look out and open your eyes that you see things that reflect something back to you beside love. It's reflecting back to you what you saw when you looked inside yourself. So what is my job? Not to change you, but to get rid of whatever it is that keeps me from looking at myself in a loving way.
Right.
That's my job. I can't change. I really got it. It only took 40 years. But I always tell people, I did 40 years. I did 40 years for you. So you won't have to do 40 years. This is like, the auto mechanic fixes my transmission, right? So I got the benefit of his 40 years. Because he did it for me. And so he says, you need to put some transmission fluid in. If I believe that, because he's learned transmissions, that I just received the benefit of his 40 years without me having to do 40 years. You know why? Because bottom line is he got to put transmission fluid in his car just as much as I got to put transmission fluid in mine. Right. So in the end, I did the same thing he's got to do, the same way he's got to do it in order for me to get the benefit. So you don't have to study 40 years to get the benefit of the 40 years I've studied. Just listen to me.
Save time.
Yeah, just listen to me. You haven't put the amount of time in this book that I have. That doesn't mean that we're unequal anymore than it means it's unequal that I go to the auto mechanic and he can fix a transmission better than I can. That don't mean we're unequal. Being equal don't mean we're at the same level of learning. So sometimes it's interesting to me how people who have never studied the Course at all can walk into a place and think they know more about what the Course says than I do. Notice I said more about what the Course says than I do. Like me walking in your house and believing I know more about where your clothes are located than you do. But it's you that put them there, and you've been the one that's been in the house. So what should I do? I can save time by asking you, where's the bathroom?
Right.
And then you say it's right over there. Or I could be a stupid adult and go, well, we're equal, so I just should know where the bathroom is. Even though I've never seen it. So why am I saying this? Let me save you time. Let the Course save you time. You want to be surrounded by people who you enjoy, who really love you, then you need to realize that the only reason why you're on the earth is to bring peace. And peace isn't boring, it's total fulfillment. It's extending love. Then it says, if you don't understand that your peace is not going to come from anybody else, then what you need to do is know that you just need to look inside yourself and manifest the peace. And then you'll see the peace. And then it says people will surround you who are peaceful. Now, the unconscious, unaware, asleep person, do you know how they do it? They are angry, or they attack, or they have grievances, or they have sadness, and they expect to be surrounded by peaceful, loving people. Am I right or wrong? The average person, no matter how crappy they are, right, they still think they should be surrounded by love. They still think everybody should be jumping up and down and go out with them. And, you know, and the Course of Miracles is saying, if you don't see it, you're not manifesting it. If you're not manifesting it, it means you don't know it's your mission, and you're not looking inside of yourself and trying to get rid of everything inside yourself that's not love. And that's easier than trying to change someone else.
Thank you.
It's just, you know that we have a tendency. Have you ever been lazy?
Yes.
Okay, then this is the lazy man's guide to enlightenment. That's what the Course in Miracles is. It's the lazy man's guide. It's just stuff like, I'll tell you, the Holy Spirit, the higher power says in the Course, I'll tell you what to do and do it for you. And we still can't pick a book. Because that's hard. What's hard about, I'm gonna tell you how to bake a cake, and I'm gonna bake it for you. That's what this book says. But I need to listen to what he's telling me. He says, listen to what you're being told, Earl. And I'll say Earl because I have perfect attendance at my classes. It's only been a couple of them I missed out, a couple of Saturdays that I was actually in the class, but I really wasn't in the class.
You weren't.
And some of y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Some of y'all not here now. Your bodies are here, but your mind might be on the Super Bowl. You saw are we capable of having our bodies in one place and our minds in another place? That's how you know you're not your body. We could have our bodies here and our minds could be in Paris. Right. We'll do that one day. We're going to reach a level of spiritual development that we know we're spiritual beings who have a physical body, that we can get together and say, we're going to meet over at Unity Temple at 2 o'clock on Saturday. We're going to very calmly sit our bodies down in these seats, and we're going to close our eyes, and we're going to all take a trip to Rome in our consciousness. And we will go there, and we will project a body to be in while it looks like we're there. Because the mind is just one mind, and it's our mind. And so you can focus your attention anywhere with your mind. Because you're doing it right now. We have powers and abilities far beyond, can I get the latest car? I'm telling you, we're so much greater than we think we are. It's just ridiculous how little we go for. How little we come up with. And so the Course is saying here, I love this. It says, I have heard your call. That is what your higher self is saying. That's what love is saying. That's what the Jesus of the Course is saying. That's what Spirit is saying. Use whatever word works for you. He says, I have heard your call and I have answered it. But you won't look upon me and hear the answer that you saw. Okay, now apply that to me. And then I'm going to apply that to you. I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, it says, I have heard your call. That's why I'm teaching. I have answered it. You will not look at me and hear the answer that you sought. And that's what that's what Spirit is saying to us. It's like, you called for help. I heard you. I'm giving you the answer. And you don't hear, like it says, I hear the answer that you sought. Like right now in the Course, am I not giving you the answer that you sought? Which was, how do I have more peaceful, loving people? So, but are you hearing me? Or have you decided that Tinder is going to do it?
Oops.
You see what I'm saying? Or have I decided the next time I go to the club, I'm going to meet somebody and then I'm going to have love? Or have I decided when I make enough money, I'll be able to attract somebody? See what I'm saying? Are you hearing the answer? Or are you still just looking for validation to what you've already decided the answer is that has not worked?
Right.
You just, the Course is, it's like, the Course says, what we ask is, how can I remain exactly the way I am without going through the suffering that entails? He says that's what people do when they say they want to be helped. They really want you to tell them how they don't have to change anything about themselves and they're going to get a brand new result. So as a counselor, you're going to be telling people how they're responsible, which means they can change it. But that's when people go the most unconscious. The Course says, because the world has taught us that we're supposed to look for who's willing to sacrifice for us. So I'm looking for the person that's going to try to make me happy no matter what the effect it might have on them. I'm looking for the person that's going to make me happy. I want you to act out my script, serve me. And so Earl didn't say where I should go to meet that person that's going to make me. Earl didn't say where my $1 million was located. So that wasn't a really cool class. But what do I want the $1 million for? For the peace that I think having abundance of wealth is going to give me. Is that not true?
Yeah, it's true.
Whenever you ask for anything, it's always a symbol of what you think that thing is going to give you. Why do I want a house? Because I think it's going to give me a feeling of security. That's why I want the house. And the truth is saying, why don't you just go for the security? It's less than a $500,000 mortgage.
So much cheaper.
Yeah, truth is cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It's free.
Free truth.
But I had the least attendance to any workshops I've ever done when I did them for free.
Right.
When I did them on a love offering basis, because people got to, sometimes I can create it in the dream that I'm having that people will seem to resent me asking for money for doing what I do, just like they receive it for doing what they do, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll say, okay, you complain about you asking for money. What if I say to you, I have 1,000 videos on YouTube that you can watch for free? What if I said to you, I got 800 videos on my website and audios that you can watch for free? Then tell me and show me how I'm doing this for the money. And they won't even go listen. But then when I said I am asking for X amount of money for my workshops, I start having people attend. There's certain things I'm not going to ever do for free unless God tells me to.
Right.
If God tells me, I will. Because I'm not doing a favor to a person by reinforcing the idea that they don't have, they can't manifest any kind of abundance to pay for anything. Because that's their problem already, is they think they don't have. So if I buy into your not having unless the Holy Spirit tells me to, then I'm not really helping you. Plus, how you're not going to believe what I have to offer you is even valuable if I give it to you for free.
That's right.
Not watching 1,000 videos you could watch for free already proves that. I got a letter from a teacher the other day, David Dida, who does relationship workshops, and he was getting ready to do a workshop. And the workshop was 3 days, and it was $7,500.
Wow.
And if you really wanted to do the next package, you could say 3 more days and it would be $10,000. Now, to attend this workshop, you had to apply. So and they had a long thing that you had to fill out.
Wow.
Because his workshops fill up. Because people think anything you're paying $7,500 for, that's got to be the workshop of all workshops that's ever been created. And for him to be able to have done this for years and years and years, it also made me aware that there are a lot of people that $7,500 doesn't mean anything to them.
That's right.
Or he wouldn't be. So I'm like going, where are they? Well, they not where you are. That's what makes them them. That's what you call them and me. You know what I'm saying? It's so funny when you think about it. Because, and again, there's no order of difficulty of miracles. The same consciousness that creates $50 is the same consciousness that could create $500 million, because it's all illusion. It's all just something that we're making up because we are all children gods.
Yeah.
We are little children gods. learning how to create, learning how to follow guidance.
Yeah.
And he just told us, you can't hear your guidance if you're in conflict. So the first thing we got to do is get you to a place that you have enough peace to hear what I'm saying to you. Because isn't it more difficult to reach a person when they're upset than any other time? Think about it. Have you ever tried to talk to somebody when they were upset? So the truth is the same way. It's saying, y'all not going to listen to me as long as y'all are miserable. You're not going to listen to me as long as you're worrying about your bills and your relationships and your weight and your ups. So first thing you got to get to, buddy, is peace. You have to get to peace before you get to anything else, because you won't be able to hear me talking to you. You won't be able to hear my guidance. That's what God is saying to us. That's what the Creator is saying to us. I'm talking to y'all butts, but you are always upset about one little stupid thing or another that you want something outside of yourself to change for you to be happy. So you mad, so you don't hear me saying, go around the corner and that's what you want is located. Oh, you want to meet that person? This is where you go to meet them. Oh, you like to know what it's like to have what you think of as a successful career, even though it doesn't really mean anything. Okay, this is what you. In other words, this is how you have peace. This book is saying you could simply be told what to do, and if you were willing to listen, I'll give you a bonus. And they go, well, what is the bonus? I'll do it for you. That's the bonus. For you listening, I'll do it for you. You know you can read trashy novels. Just look at the course as a trashy novel. Because that's where it ends up for most people anyway, in the trash. I've been doing this 40 years. I've seen a lot of y'all in 40 years. We're not as different as we think we are. I look forward to meeting people that are truly different. I get excited about the idea of ever meeting somebody that's really different. You find most people are just what society taught them to be. And their desires and their wishes are what society told them they should desire and wish for. They tend to miss the obvious that most people are not, in general society, seem to be ecstatically happy. So you're trying to follow somebody that's not been successful. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. So the Course is saying to us that, he says, I have heard your call, I have answered it, you won't look at me and you won't hear the answer. I gave you. And don't worry about your friends and relatives will they ever get on the path. You know why? Because there's a limit to pain.
Yeah.
There's no limit to love, but there's a limit to pain. Let them have as much pain as they need to change. Sometimes you interfere when you try to jump in to fix somebody. They might need to crash before they finally get serious.
Yes, absolutely.
I was driving last night, and then somebody else in Capitol Hill was trying to use me to die. That happens when you drive around Denver. People are always trying to use you to die.
Yeah.
It's like when they say with cops, death by cops or something like that, where people purposely instigate something with a policeman so that they'll shoot them. Right? And that's the same thing. Then I saw this guy. I was driving down the street, and I just knew. The voice said, "Stop! Slow down," because the person just walked out into the street.
Yeah.
And he was doing this when all these cars coming at him, right? And he just doing this and just walking across at night. And they were having to stop. This is what I'm saying. It's like that. It's like we get set, we can be completely delusional about the experience that we're in. And it was our caring for ourselves and him that didn't kill him.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't know how many times a day the Spirit has saved you from something that would be ridiculously painful to you, and you'll say, I ask you how you doing. You say, ain't nothing happening. Say it again. Ain't nothing happening. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't know how many times you weren't hit by a car. You don't even know how many people stopped before they ran over you because you was, we are being taken care of by the invisible here in obvious ways. Why is it hard for us to accept that we could be taken care of by the invisible in greater ways?
Yeah.
Have you ever sat in the car and watched two people pass by and they never noticed you were sitting in the car but you were watching them?
Mm-hmm.
That, for all intents and purposes, you did not exist. They didn't even know you existed, but you saw them and observed them. That's what's happening to you right now. You're being observed and you don't even know it, and you're being helped. and you don't even know it. And so the Course says, this is because, he says, the reason why you don't find what you seek, he says again, you do not yet want only that. He says, to find what you seek, you have to want it 100%. You have to want only that. The reason why I see innocence and guilt is because I don't want to believe in only innocence. The reason why I see love and fear or anger in my life is because I give anger just as much reality as I give love. So love isn't the only thing I want.
That's it.
He just gave us the secret to manifestation. Mm-hmm. How do you manifest anything? For one, you totally desire it. He says, whatever you totally desire, you create.
Yeah.
So all you have to do to create something is 100% desire it. And here's the loving stuff that the Course does. It says, you ready for something that's loving? Just like when it said, I tell you what to do and I do it for you.
Yes, please.
It said, I'll remove every obstacle before you get to it. If you're doing what I want you to do, you'll know it because you'll be able to do it, you'll want to do it, and I'll remove every obstacle to you doing it. That's how you know you're following the voice of God. Based on that definition, I'm not following the voice of God as much as I should be.
Right.
What about you?
Yeah.
If there are areas you see as a struggle based on this, then that's something that you kind of want, but you don't 100% want it yet.
There's doubt.
And okay, here's the good part. Here's the little bonus. Is that it says, and spirit will take up the slack so that it is 100% desired, even if it's you consciously wanting it 20%. It says, spirit said, I'll match it with the 80%. So it still would be 100%. Follow me? And so even if you don't have 100%, it still doesn't have to stop you from having it, because that which loves you, spirit, your real self, it will make it 100%. But it's got to be something that has to do with fulfilling your mission of extending peace, and it has to be something you want for everyone. The Course in Miracles, in my interpretation of seeing what it said, like, God isn't concerned about your personal interests. It's like, okay, it says, because it ain't about your personal interests. It's about everybody's interests.
Right.
If we are one thing, if we are one whatever it is, then all of us deserve to receive love equally. All of us deserve love equally. All of us deserve happiness equally. You should want for me the same thing you want for you. If you want some happiness for you, you should also want some happiness. That's what it's saying. It ain't about your personal interests. To God, it's about all of us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it says it right here. Yet as I become more real to you, and that's what's happening. Some people, spirit is becoming more real. Love is becoming more real. The Jesus of the Course is becoming more real. Some of you know what I'm talking about. He says, how do you know when the truth is becoming more real to you? Love is becoming more real to you. How do you know? You'll be saying more and more, that's the only thing I want. That's how you'll know if you're getting it. You, instead of saying, I want a million different things and I want a million different people to do a million different things to make me happy, I'll be going, I just want the peace of unconditional love. I just want the peace of God. I just want total fulfillment all the time. And so the Course is saying, how can you tell when love is becoming real to you, when Jesus is becoming real to you, when spirit is becoming real to you more and more? That's the only thing you want.
That's right.
All you want is the truth. All you want is God. All you want is love. All you want, and until I'm hearing that's all you want, then I know you still want to have some good days and some bad days. I know you still want to have some happy situations and some unhappy situations, because you still don't want only that.
That's right.
This is one paragraph.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
The Course in Miracles is the cheesecake of truth. It's rich. It's rich. That's why people, they start reading it, they go, when you have accepted.
I did that.
Who are they? The Course in Miracles beginner students. you go into somebody's class and say, I'm taking this class, we're going to have all these new people interested in the Course, and you walk in and everybody in the class like this. Then you go, oh, that's the beginner class. Because It knocks your butt out. When you're miserable and you think you know, and you're not open to the ideas that the truth is teaching, it knocks you out. And so don't be surprised if people start going to sleep around you.
Oh, no, I know what.
You thought you were boring. You wasn't that you were boring, Jamola.
I don't know what they said.
Caught red-handed.
You know, I've had that happen. Have you ever been talking to somebody and they fell asleep?
Yeah.
And you were saying the thing you thought was the most meaningful and the most true. Right. People who like to suffer, they can't allow themselves to hear the way out of suffering. Because you won't suffer. And they've already decided suffering is how they're going to make things right. Because they grew up in a society that told them punishment and suffering is how you correct things. You were a kid, your mama whooped your butt whenever you did something wrong like they did when I grew up and they called it good parenting. Then, I don't care what I did, once my mama got home, even though I was terrified because I knew my sister was going to tell it on me, as we just said, you going to tell on me, ain't you? Yeah, I'm going to tell on you. She can't wait till I get to that door. I'm going to tell on you. I don't know whoever got brothers and sisters know what I'm talking about, you know? And so the truth of the matter is when you recognize that you could be corrected without having to be punished, because when I got my spanking, my mother and I were okay. It was like it had magically released what, y'all know what I'm talking about, that once you get the punishment, then okay, we okay again. And Course in Miracles, to me, is telling us the same thing. So you all are still have the unconscious belief that the more you suffer, somehow or another, that's going to pay for something, and it's a form of punishment. He says, and you think it's going to make everything all right. So when somebody says, I'm going to keep you from suffering, and you already decided that suffering and being punished because you're unworthy or you're not good enough is the answer, that means you've already decided on the answer, that I need to be punished. So when somebody like me or any other loving truth person comes up and say, I'm going to show you a way that you can have what you want without suffering, you unconsciously are not going to pay attention to me because you've already decided that the life you're already living is the way you should be handling things. That's why you live in the life you live, because at some level you think it's going to get you what you want and you wouldn't live it. So when somebody says, no, to get what you want, you got to do just the opposite of what you're doing. Then naturally you're going to resist. Naturally you're going to resist it. That's okay, it's wild.
Bless us.
Plus, you know I should not be, I should have been out over there in the
It's
corner
okay.
under something. Because I know I can knock anything over, I can knock something over there. That's my superpower, I knock stuff over. So, are you all with me?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it making any sense? I'm going to give you a chance to talk to me in a minute, but I just want to at least get through one paragraph.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I think I'm talking common sense. I don't think I'm saying anything that even your uncle couldn't relate to. Right? So, and then the Course says if you're dealing with totally crazy people, then you don't try to tell them the truth. What's a totally crazy person according to the Course? A totally crazy person according to the Course is someone that believes they are a victim of everything that's happening to them.
Exactly.
That the Course calls that an insane person. Not a bad person, just a person who doesn't know the truth. And he says, if you're totally insane, what happens is you're not even open to the idea that you could possibly be the creator of your experience. So when somebody even try to tell you you have that kind of power, you say, you're a nut. So it says the way you deal with people like that, which means most of the people you know, and yourself along the way, right? It says the way that you deal with that is you mentally, in your mind, just don't go into agreement with not one single thing that they're saying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't tell them anything.
No, but
You just don't agree with anything you're hearing them say in your mind, because your mind is linked to their mind. So the truth in your mind is reaching out to the truth in their mind so that both of y'all's wrong ideas won't be reinforced. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And wouldn't that be easier?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be a lot easier if you were dealing with people who thought we were crazy for saying we actually have something to do with our own happiness? That's why we huddle together unknown. That's what you have crazy place we in. It's all huddled together where nobody knows we in this room. Because they think we really crazy because we saying, I deserve love.
Say what?
I won't believe I'm innocent. I'm taking responsibility. Nobody's done anything to me. I'm responsible. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like we're hiding.
Plain sight.
And when we're hiding as if what we want is weird.
Yeah.
Think about that. It's weird to say God loves me unconditionally. It's weird to say you could actually be part of life and that life lasts forever. You know what I think about that? You know, and so the Course is saying, well, what do you do in a world full of people who don't think like that? Well, it says, well, what you do is the people who want to think like you, he says, rejoice with them.
That's right.
So we're supposed to party.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's
I don't know what's
party.
wrong with y'all. In other words, we are supposed to be rejoicing with each other because all of us want to be sang together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then it says, then the Course says, and this is what you do with the people who don't know this. He says, just mentally question what they're thinking and don't go in agreement with it. Because your minds are joined. So you're not strengthening their beliefs because they're deceiving themselves. He says, what you go like, what is the deception? He says, well, the deception is they think they created themselves. That's why they're suffering. They think that they don't have a creator and they think they created themselves. And they're making up what they think will make them happy, but they don't even believe they deserve to be happy. So then they're never going to succeed. Because as soon as somebody show up in their face and say, I love you, then that's the person they're most suspicious of. Because they believe anybody that could love them would have to be lying and deceiving them. Because they don't think they're worth love. See the vicious circle? I don't think I'm worth love. That's why I'm insecure. So if you love me, I'm not going to trust you because you are telling me something I don't believe about myself. So I'm going to go to the abuser who tells me I am worthless because that's what I think I am. And I can't get away from the person that's telling me what I think about myself. But the person that's loving, I doubt them and I run away. I'm a loving person. People don't believe that and they run away. That's so dumb. Because I'm not wishing them any harm. But they'll distrust me.
Oh, yeah.
Because you seem like you're too nice. Right. Ain't no such thing as a too nice to a person who loves themselves. They'll go, God, it's about time you saw I need to be treated this way, because I know I do. And then people say, that's arrogance. That's not arrogance, that's honesty, that's authenticity. That's you loving yourself as a child of God. Self-debasement is not humility.
No.
I grew up in the church and they would tell me that I was like a worm of the earth or the dust of the earth and all this old horrible stuff I was supposed to call myself. And this is not a self-esteem church, is it? I'm leaving feeling worse than I can. At least I didn't think I was going to go to hell before I came.
Repent.
And why would somebody subscribe to a doctrine like that? Somebody who thinks they deserve to go to hell. So it's the minute you don't, and some children come here not believing they deserve to go to hell, so they don't buy into it from the very beginning. That was me. And I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not the only one that was born in this world that said, this is crazy as hell. Even as a child. As a child, I was going, what in the, how did this occur? Some people that just sound so crazy to them, but I meet people all the time that say, you know, I felt the same way, and I'm glad to hear you say that I never thought this was really, something wasn't right about this, right? And so it's saying it right here. It says, you will see me as you look within, and then we will look on the real world together. So, okay, so if you look within, sunshine, and you see the love in you, and then Patricia looks within, and she sees the love inside of her, then we are going to both what? See the real world of love together. Because both of us feel that about ourselves.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? Right? But say I love myself and you don't love yourself. Then it'll seem like the world I'm in is different from the world you're in. And it might take this kind of conversation where you say, I don't like your friends. See, because my friends are witnessing love back to me. She's not looking at things in a loving way, so she's not getting that same reflection in her life. So she might be tempted to distrust and not like the reflection I'm getting in my life. But if she looks within and loves her, and I look within and love me, we're going to be looking at the real world together. That's why you need to be forming relationships with people with a like purpose.
Yes,
Right.
indeed.
You got to get rid of these mixed marriages.
Mm-hmm.
They got to go. You're going to be the teacher and they're going to be the student. You're the one that's the most smart and you're going to change them some kind of way. All that whole, I'm going to fix them, I'm going to save them.
Yes.
You know, you need, you know, suppose me and you was going to take a trip and instead of getting on the plane, I got to take 3 hours to convince you to take the trip with me. Wouldn't it be a lot easier just for me to take the trip with somebody that want to take it with me?
That's right.
So stop trying to make everybody have to get you to the point that you want to take the trip.
Yeah.
You know, in other words, want peace for yourself as much as they want peace for you in themselves. It's so much good stuff waiting for you, but the court says if you have a lot of happiness hit you before you are ready for it, that it could precipitate you into intense depression and you might want to kill yourself.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was one of the deepest things I ever heard until I saw myself getting depressed because everything was going right in my life. Have any of you ever had that? Stuff started going really good and strangely enough, instead of feeling really, really happy, you would find yourself feeling a little depressed.
Mm-hmm.
It's because you were receiving more happiness than you thought you deserved. So he says, and the court said, so your happiness, look, he said when happiness is seen as a threat, it'll wait for your own protection. So basically, you are as happy as you can be without killing yourself right now. I know that's sad. But think about that. You're as happy as you're willing to allow yourself right now. This is as much happiness as you can handle right now.
That's very true.
But I love what he said, it'll wait for you though. See, that's what he said. It didn't say you were going to lose it. It's eternal. So that always, anything's eternal means it's going to always be there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So whenever you are ready for it, your happiness is ready for you. You can't lose your happiness. You can just delay your awareness of it. And that's all you're doing if you're unhappy right now. You can just say, oh, I'm delaying my awareness of my joy right now. You call it sadness. And you go, what's happening to you today, Earl? Man, I'm delaying the awareness of my joy again today. I've been doing that all week. Delaying my awareness of my joy. See, what are you doing? You're stating that your joy exists, you're just not aware of it.
Yeah.
That's a much more positive way to look at what you call sadness than just saying, I'm sad. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And then here's a shortcut. Whatever you think your problem is that's keeping you unhappy, that ain't it.
Thank you.
That's right.
You're gonna come back. It's 20 years from now. I'll be gone 20 years from now. You come back next week. I ain't gonna be here 20 years unless I am really like in good shape.
Yes.
Other than that, I don't want to be. If God wills it, I'll be here. I don't believe that this is the only life, so I'm not as attached to trying to cling to it as most people.
Me neither.
So me saying that I'm willing to be okay about not being here in 20 years,
Yeah.
that's not a bad statement.
Yeah.
That's nothing to anybody act like, oh, you should. No, I mean, my time to be up.
Yeah.
You know, the court says we're supposed to look at death as a liberation.
Yes.
That you're getting outside of this limited body and all the fears that it has. You mourning for your loved ones, they parted.
Right.
They mourning you.
Right.
Because you're the one still in a world that it looks like people don't love each other.
Right.
So he said, y'all in hell.
Right.
That's right.
Your job is to turn hell into heaven.
Right.
Right.
You're here to bring love into a loveless place.
Right.
You're here, that's your mission. And we told you, jokers, we'll take care of y'all if you are an injection of God. Just psh, that's you. You inside the needle of God. Psh. You call it being born. I call it injection. You was shot in here. I came out of that opening and I've been spending years trying to get back in it.
How successful are you?
Very unsuccessful. Thank God. Thank God. You ever notice there's a zillion ways to get out of here, and you call it death, but there's generally only one way to get in, which is through birth. But we could die in 100 different ways in this room right now.
Right.
So why is that so easy? Why is it so easy for you to go?
Because you're not meant to stay.
That's right, because you're not meant to stay. And so if you know that, you'll stay. That's to make you want to commit suicide when you know you have an eternal life. What it does is make you want to stop wasting time and do what it is that you came here to do, which was to what? Extend peace, which is total fulfillment. And how can I extend total fulfillment if I don't have none myself? So my first responsibility is to allow Earl to be happy, to allow Earl to be nourished, to allow Earl. You can't give people what you don't have.
No.
So if you hear what I'm saying, you know the secret to having loving relationships, because then you'll know what traits and characteristics to look for in the people that you choose to get in relationships with. All of them got bodies, so don't worry about that part. You're not ready to be with a person that don't have a body. You call them a ghost. You be freaking out. And the Course says, your invisible guides will take a physical form right in front of you as soon as it won't scare you. So he says until you can handle that, it says then your invisible guides just give you their thoughts and their guidance. And you'll call it, oh, I just got this download today that I need to do blah. And you don't know that was shot into you by your own inner guide. And one day it will take a form so you can have a conversation with it. When it don't trip you out. What do y'all think about that kind of stuff?
Amazing.
It's good.
It's true.
He says, through the eyes of Christ, which is your real self, whenever you see Christ, just go, my real self. Only the real world exists, and only the real world can be seen through what? Eyes of love. So if I'm looking out in the world and I don't see love, then I'm not looking through the eyes of love yet. So what is my job? To get rid of the blocks to being able to see through the eyes of love. And sometimes you think that's people. Sometimes you think it's somebody you need to get rid of instead of your perception of them.
Yeah, you gotta change your perception.
Yeah. Then if you can't change your perception, get rid of them. For their own good. For their own good.
Yeah.
I don't like you, but I'm going to cling to you and I'm going to stay with you, and I don't really want to work this out with you, and we can't really talk about it. Then I shouldn't be upset with you because I'm punishing myself through you, and you're successfully giving me the punishment that I think I need in order to be okay again. So I'm actually using you to whip me.
Yeah.
And people use people to whip them.
Yeah.
They use jobs to whip them.
Yes.
They use to whip themselves. They use money situations to whip themselves. They use health situations. And some people use a combination of all of them. That's somebody that really hate themselves. Or they could change their way of looking at it and see all the benefits of having no money, no job, no relationship. Because it's an advantage, because it's all neutral. So you could be shown how any situation that you're in could be used to your advantage. No matter what it is.
That's true.
That's true. I love to talk to people about relationships right after they had a horrible one. Those are always my favorite people to talk to because they're going to want to do something about it. But when people are in that false honeymoon period of happiness in a relationship, when it looks like you all are just doing what the other one wants you to do and everybody's acting out everybody's script and you're making unrealistic promises that you're not going to keep over the long run, and you're all excited and the sex is new and you can't get enough of each other, it's hard for somebody to hear that none of their happiness is coming from what they are experiencing with that person right now. Their happiness is coming from them, that they are responsible for it. Because right now they're ready to believe to the bottom of their heart that the other person is generating it. But when they're unhappy and miserable, then they're willing to look more at, well, what caused it? Can you help me? But the other people who think they're happy, they think you're busting their bubble, and they don't like it. You're not going to find a lot of happy couples in the Course in Miracles class. because they don't want to deal with the reality that it's a total illusion if it's based on specialness and everybody acting out each other's script. They don't want to hear that. That love is not real. So that you don't act out the script, you out of there. Because right now you're telling each other you won't ever leave each other because you're acting out each other's script. Right? And then the Course says, that's not real love. You're just acting out a script. That's not real love. You're just acting out a script. You're just acting out a script. That's it. It's just a script. That's not real. That's not real. That's not real. That's not real. That's what it means when it says it's an illusion. It means that you are believing a false idea. That's what an illusion is. It means you are believing a false idea. Nobody can make you happy. Nobody can make you happy. And that's how you can be happy all the time, because it doesn't depend on anybody outside of you. And so you find that happiness in yourself, and then what did we just say? You're going to be surrounded by people like that. And then all of a sudden you're surrounded by more people who you could be intimate with and close with and loving with than you have ever imagined. So your last thing you would be is lonely if you were loving yourself. It's no such thing as a person who loves themselves being lonely, because even if there are no bodies around, they're not lonely.
Right. That's me.
I feel guilty about how much I enjoy being by myself.
I
Give me
like
something.
Whatever I want to do, I just do it. I just do it right then. I just do it. I don't have to check in with nobody to see if they're going to be okay with it.
Right.
If I want to get up at 3:30 in the morning and go watch TV, I just get up and do it. I'm like, it's
Yeah.
going to be all right, dear. I got that work and I watch TV, dear. It's like, now, if both of us are looking inside each other, ourselves, and all we see is love, then in that relationship, we're going to be experiencing love together, and then I would enjoy being with somebody also in the body. It wouldn't be any different. See, my perfect relationship is a relationship that I'm no different with the person that I'm supposed to be in love with than when I'm not with them. My whole life and my personality and interests don't have to change because I'm with you.
Thank you.
That's how I know you're the right person. How I am, you see in a loving way because you've looked inside, seen only love in yourself, and want only love, so that's all you see in me. When you only want love from me, that's all you're going to see. If you see anything other than love, that's a result of your conflicting invitations. 1 minute you like me, 1 minute you don't. 1 minute you acted out your script, 1 minute I'm not. And that's what you call Earl going in and out of happiness. Or him making me happy sometime and he's not making me happy sometime. He's acting out my script sometime. He's not acting out my script sometime. He's acting out my script sometime. And I call it, this person is making me happy or unhappy. And so if I'm with somebody and it looks like they're making me happy, then I don't want nobody to tell me it's an illusion, because I'm still basing my happiness on them. So I ain't coming to that class, because it looks like the formula that never works is working. Which is, you need to be different for me to be happy. Last line. I'm teaching that like I'll never see anybody again. I'm just going forward.
You might know.
I finally believe after 40 years God's going to take care of me. So good to feel that way.
It's good.
It was worth everything I went through to get to the point that I think that I am sustained by the love of God.
Me too.
Hallelujah.
And it doesn't have to take you 40 years. All it has to take is for y'all to hear one thing I said today and decide you're going to use it. That you'd rather be happy than to be right.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
What is the last line? He says, as you decide, so will you see. As you decide. What does that mean? You will see the way you decide. He said, decide what? Decide to see it right. Decide to see you right. Decide to see right. He says, and all that you see but witnesses to your decision. So everything you're seeing in your life right now is a witness to what you decided to experience in your life right now. The financial situation you have right now is the financial situation you decided to have.
Yes.
The relationship situation you have right now is the relationship situation you decided to have. The job, career situation that you have right now is the job and career situation that you decided to have. The love that you feel right now is the love you decided to feel right now. The fear you feel is the fear you decided to feel right now. Everything you see witnesses to the decision you made. You decided to be in a room full of consciously evolving beings who want to learn how to see only love. So boom, you got the class that you're sitting up here with me. It happened after you decided you wanted to love yourself more. First you make the decision, and then everything else happened. When the people channeled the Course in Miracles, they asked the voice how they were going to get it out to the world. And the voice said, make the commitment first. You know, people do it the other way. I'm going to make the commitment to you when you prove to me, right? And the truth is, no, I'm going to make a commitment to peace between us. I'm making a commitment. The Course says, if you were 100% committed to all your relationships, they would never conflict. If you were, and that's, what do you mean? Because that means you're 100% committed to practice the truth with everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what it means to have 100% commitment to a relationship.
Right.
I'm not going to commit to your ego that changes from day to day about what you think and what I should want and how I should be. And you asking me to make a commitment to something that's constantly changing.
Right.
But I'll make a commitment to you and me being together to use our relationship for sanity, love, joy, and peace. I'll be right on top of it with you. But no, I'm not going to make a commitment to your ego. I'm not going to make a commitment to the scripts that you decide to write for me for the rest of my life. Matter of fact, if I really felt completely comfortable with you, then you wouldn't even have to ask me to make a commitment.
Yes.
Thank
There you
you.
go.
Because I'd already be committed.
Right.
Instead of having a mate that needs to be committed.
That's right.
That's a different kind of commitment. You need to be committed. Okay. Would you acknowledge yourself as Donna? Thank you for attending another class in the Road of Miracles by the ranting, raving black man. So let's do the love of. Oh, already doing it. Thank you for sharing with me. I appreciate that. If you want to make a donation, a love offering, an expression of appreciation in that poem online, just go to my website, earlpurdy.com, www.earlpurdy.com, and you can also use Venmo. And my email address is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. And you can use that email address to just send me out some loving, peaceful thoughts. Check in, let me see what you're thinking. Because I want you to know, in this room and online, my purpose is your total fulfillment. The purpose of the course is your total fulfillment. For you to have what you really want. Don't you really want total fulfillment?
Yes,
Yes.
I do.
Okay.
I want total fulfillment.
Do you really want total fulfillment?
Yes,
Yes.
I want
Yes.
total fulfillment.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you want it so much that you would be willing to have an answer that works for you that you didn't think of?
Yes.
Is it okay for you to get, there was one book I never forgot, a truth book that said, adults are not interested, Course of Love, adults are not interested in answers that they don't make up.
Oh.
And that's why it's hard to help adults.
Oh.
Because we are programmed to think the definition of being an adult is you coming up with all the answers yourself.
Inside, right.
So even though you could be given an answer, he said, because we didn't think of it, we discard it or don't focus in on it. Because most people come with answers they've already decided on, and they're waiting for me to validate those answers. They want to hear me say what's never worked for them is going to work one day, because we all know when you try to cook a cake in a refrigerator, that it always works on the 701 time you try. And that's what the Course says. We think if we do the thing that didn't work enough times, it'll work. So when it's right, so when I tried to cook the cake in the refrigerator 800 times, and that's what it is when you go back to every relationship with the same attitudes that you had in the past that the world taught you, which is that the other person, if they acted out your script and sacrificed themselves for you and validated you, you're going to be happy. You just haven't found the right person to do that, so you don't try to change yourself. You just haven't found the right person, so you look for the next person that's going to do it. And I think if I do that the 900th relationship, then that's gonna finally work, right? And so the Course says lifelong relationships are rare. So that's not even realistic to expect every relationship to last a lifetime. He says it's much more natural to come together, learn as much as you can, and then appear to separate. So don't beat yourself up about relationships that haven't lasted forever. It doesn't mean you are lousy at relationships. It just means you learn fast. Did y'all hear me? You got a bunch of relationships that didn't work. You just learned fast. That's it. Okay, take a breath. Please share this video. And know that Thursday nights at 7 o'clock I do Hardcore Course in Miracles on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook. And it's hardcore. As a matter of fact, I did the one that y'all really need to check out as Thursday's class. Because it deals with what I was saying about what your special function is and how you deal with people who are not thinking this way. And then how you deal with people who are thinking this way. Because we're making it too hard. You know, you're not going to convince Stevie Wonder to see. You know what I'm saying? And if they're not ready to see yet, and they think you're crazy,
Yep.
it's no point in talking to them
No.
about those things. What I would advise is that you would just be a cool, loving, safe person for them to be around.
That's right.
Because even if they're crazy or asleep, if they like you, they won't hurt you. If they like you, they don't want to hurt you. When people love you, I don't care what their belief system is. When people care about you, they don't want to hurt you. So when people who don't recognize how beautiful they are yet, you reach them through love. You won't reach them through intellectually trying to get them to think like you. You can forget that, right? You're not going to get a hardcore Democrat to vote Republican by nothing that you tell them, and you're not going to get a hardcore Republican to vote Democratic. I don't care how much you tell them, but they can love each other.
Right.
They can care about each other. That's the way it used to be in the political discourse when I grew up. You could disagree with each other politically, but not dog each other out, criticize each other like we see nowadays. So when people feel your love, which is what you're going to give them, why? Why is it going to be easy for you to give it to them? Because you've been looking inside yourself, and you've been getting rid of everything that keeps you from loving yourself. And it's already said that once you do that, then you're going to be manifesting love. And then they're going to feel that love. And they'll say stuff like, if anybody else had said that, I would have really got upset. But you know, for some reason, I was okay when you said that. Or, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, all right, I don't really get it, but come on in for dinner. You know, that's what your world will be like. It won't be everybody's got to talk the course or got to talk the truth.
That's right.
You just want to be safe, and you want them to be safe. And so we just heard how to do it. You know, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. I love you. I'll see you the next time. Let's give it up. Give it up. So it could be a lot of people that's looking inside themselves, seeing on the love, and looking at the real world together.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do, right?
Yes.
That's right. We help each other in so many ways. This energy that we create here, it extends into each one of our personal lives throughout the whole week.
That's right.
You have no idea how many things didn't happen to you because we come together and join. It's the most important. It's like when you don't give yourself the truth, it's like driving a car and never putting gas in the tank. And one day your car is going to run out of gas. And then you wonder, why was things going so great, and all of a sudden it's starting to suck? Well, you didn't keep on focusing on the truth as much as you did before. You got caught up in the thing the truth manifested. And all of a sudden you didn't have time for the truth anymore. You know, the truth helped me manifest something I wanted. Now I'm so lost in the manifestation. I know I say I'm going to read or study, but just soon take it back from Jamaica. Because now things are going great. No gas in car, no gas in car, no gas in car. So this is the gas in the car. And that doesn't mean coming to this class necessarily is. I'm saying you're putting the truth first. You're having a spiritual path.
That's right.
That's right. That's right. So we love each other?
Yes.
Absolutely.
We
Do we
love
want to
each
love
other.
each other?
Yes.
Because those are the only two states of consciousness. Either I love you or I want to. That's
Right.
it.
Oh.
That's it.
I love you.
All right,
I want
y'all.
to.
All right. Thank
That
you.
was good.
Yeah. Stop! Stop! Stop!
We're all fun.
Oh, boy.
You're all fun. Now I'm